There is something that every person and creature on this planet, I think, can relate to. It's something as common as breathing, and that each one of you is doing in your seats right now. So any guesses? Aging. I'm talking about aging. So some of you in the audience are probably thinking, why is this 20-something-year-old girl up on stage reminding me that I'm aging? I mean, shoot, I've got wrinkles that are going to do that. Please just stop. But it's true, whether you want to admit it or not. Whether it's a baby taking their first few breaths in the world or a person taking their very last, every second we're all getting just a little bit older. Now granted, as I mentioned, I'm in my 20s, so hopefully I have a couple more years before I start seeing some gray hairs, but considering the experience that I just saw my grandparents go through in the nursing home, it really got me thinking what that stage of life was going to look like for my parents and eventually myself. And maybe some of you in the audience right now are thinking, wow, I really connect with that because I'm going through that with my mom or my dad right now, or my grandpa and my grandma. It's just really hard for us. So what are we doing to improve the system, though? When people find out that this is where I'm interested in going with my career, I always get a lot of funny looks, like, why are you interested in this, and how did you even start thinking about this? I'm pretty sure you're one of the few millennials who has this on their radar. And it's true, I do feel like that, and it doesn't sound like a very glamorous job, but I really think it could be. So if you're wondering where my journey started and why I'm doing this, it all started with an idea I had this summer that got me excited to think I could be a part of the solution. This summer I was in Atlanta having dinner at an old Sears warehouse that had been completely restored, gutted out, restored to where you could see the original structure, except now it was this really cool, trendy, hip, mixed-use space that was for coffee shops and restaurants and bars and breweries and, artisan crafts and stuff like that. There was mini putt-putt on top for people and indoor-outdoor spaces for families to enjoy. And so as I'm taking all of this in, I'm thinking, wow, this is just so cool. There's such a life and vibrancy here. And then an idea hit me. What if we took the concept of a mixed-use space and the life and vibrancy that comes from that and apply it to senior living and long-term care? Crazy idea, right? So actually take the assisted living, the independent living, the nursing homes, and place them above or next to all the actions so that they too can enjoy it. And we have opportunities for the whole family to come and enjoy the botanical gardens around, but also there's opportunities for residents to volunteer. Maybe there's a coffee shop there where students like to go and study and hang out, and it's open to the public, but now that coffee shop becomes a big part of an elder's day who lives around the area, who gets up in the morning and has a reason to go have coffee around other people. Maybe it isn't a mixed-use space, but just a neighborhood. So just imagine a neighborhood here, and you have houses here, and houses here, and houses here, and you have parks and places and playgrounds for kids to play, and you also have a community for seniors in the same neighborhood. So it's not a place for seniors, but a place that just has seniors there. We as a society are guilty of warehousing our greatest generation that has contributed so much to our own upbringings and to our country. We put them in places that literally accelerate their aging, to where they can't see their relevance in the world anymore. They lose their sense of purpose. Their day is monotonous. The games are the same, and in some cases feel a sense of elder abuse and neglect. I know this because I saw my grandparent go through this the last few years of his life when he was in a nursing home. Elder neglect is a serious issue in our community. 60% of elders in nursing homes don't receive visitors, and those that do receive visitors only get visited about once a year. Can you just imagine that? Imagine getting visited once a year. To make matters worse, this is only going to get worse in our country. Our country is just one of many around the world that is going to see a brink in a huge surge in their senior population of people turning over the age of 65. With the baby boomer generation in our country turning over 65, our country's population and aging is going to double. So we're going to see it go from 43.1 million to an estimated 83.7 million by 2050. And by 2060, this is going to be a fourth of our population. Crazy. So what are we doing to improve the system? I fixated in on this one solution, and it's intergenerational connection. Intergenerational communities are defined as communities that promote interaction and cooperation between individuals of different ages and that focus on the needs of all residents. So to give you an example of this, there are nursing homes that are putting preschools in putting daycares and preschools in nursing homes now so that the residents in these places can volunteer with the kids and read to them and watch them play outside in the playground, and it just brings a new cool interaction between them. Likewise, there are some nice assisted living communities that have beautiful apartments that they're opening up to college students for free or subsidized rent, and in exchange their volunteer time to be a companion to an elder neighbor and help them with some groceries or help them maybe cook a meal or play a game or two. One of my favorites is a university in Seattle that decided to start putting dormitories near long-term care and then actually offer meal plans to college students to encourage them to eat in the same dining halls as their elders. Now, I think these are all wonderful ideas, but I believe we can do more of it, and I believe we can do it better. We have the opportunity to be on the brink of changing the status quo and how we break down age segregation. Now, this is really important. I don't want you to get caught up in how we're going to do this, but rather why we should believe in it in the first place. We should believe in intergenerational connection as the solution because we can all be a part of it. And by doing so, and by believing this, we will naturally achieve how we'll do it too. Now, studies show that intergenerational connection benefit many groups in our communities, our youth and our older adults. Just to give you an example, civic engagement, a sharing of stories and culture and attitude towards our older adults positively affects our community. In our youth, there's academic growth, there's empathy, there's self-esteem, and better health and well-being with our elders, as well as their cognitive functioning and improved quality of living. So what I want you to do, there's a lot of kids in this room who are going to college soon, and I want you to look up at this list of majors. Now, I just told you about a huge market opportunity here in a group of people who are going to really need your help in an area where your skill sets and talents are going to really be needed. So what way to see those connection points than by actually going down this list of majors at a university and seeing where your interests apply. So medical field is a given, but what about business or legal or social work or hospitality or tech? You want to build apps and work in a cool startup community? Then great, do that. This is my 91-year-old grandma playing on her iPad Words with Friends. So maybe you're working in a startup and you're doing all that cool stuff with the apps, but you're thinking about her and how she can connect with other elders around the world. There's people who are bringing virtual reality technology into the nursing homes to where people who haven't been able to leave homes for a while can now put on those glasses and actually feel like they're walking down the streets of Italy. Pretty cool. There's actually hearing aids now too that are Bluetooth enabled so you can all operate it on your phone. So what I want you to do is I don't want you to get caught up in how we're going to do this, but why it's going to be important, and then from there your ideas will start to think. We are all relevant in this equation too. Maybe it's the English majors here who can actually get class credit and partner with the universities to where they're actually getting class credit to help write memoirs with our seniors. And then also film and journalism students can get together and they're filming these stories of our seniors and then preserving them for families in modern ways so that they can be passed down to other generations. I just want your wheels to get turning on how you are relevant in this and how you can apply your skill set to this group of people who are desperately going to need our help, and how we can reintegrate this group into our society. So what I want to close off with is an old African proverb that a friend of mine shared with me once. It says, when a man dies, an entire library burns. So I wanted to show you what this looked like to me. To do that, I took my grandpa's timeline and put it up here. He's 91 years old today, and he is doing great, loving life, living with his wife on their piece of land, 5 acres, with their 2 dogs, and very happy. But just to show you and get an idea of what all these chapters in his life look like and the importance of preserving his stories and also interacting with our elders and appreciating them and integrating them back into a society so that they're not all placed somewhere else. From serving our country in World War II to taking his RV down the coast of Central America, he has so much wisdom and insights and life stories to offer people like us. And unfortunately, my grandpa is just one example of someone who is still living out his life the way he wants, but there are so many out there who still have minds sharp as a tack and stories to tell and yet can't because their current care situation puts them somewhere else. So it's time to break down those silos that segregate our community by age, and it's time to think how we can take our neighbors and community and integrate these people back into our society, because by doing so, we'll become one generation. Thank you.